Hi everyone, welcome back. Today, last night there, we charged up the battery for the Dji FPV goggles, and we charged up the battery for the drone, and we charged up the controller. Now what we want to do today is we actually want to put in the battery, hook up the goggles, and activate this thing. So let's get started. Okay, here we have the antennas for the goggles. I think we better hook all that up. Boy, these packages are really nuisance to try and open. Okay, so what we also want to do, because we're going to be turning all this on, is we want to get this gimbal off. We want to get the gimbal off, and we also want to remove, there's a sticker on here on the lens. Let's see, how are we going to get that off? I don't have any fingernails, so it's really kind of tough to get in there at this. How the hell am I going to get that off? I'll tell you, you better have fingernails to get this sucker off. She's on there really good. Anyways, you got that sticker that's around the camera. I mean, I have some other stickers on here that they put on here. They have a black sticker here, black sticker there, red sticker there, red sticker here, but all the motors are marked, so you have red here for the prop that has the red on it, and you have, this is just plain black for the black propellers. So you don't really need those stickers there to tell where the propellers actually go on. Now, because we're only updating this, I don't think we're even going to put the propellers on. I think they recommend doing that, but we don't want to have her start up right now, not just yet. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the battery in, and the battery, this is the connector that's going here, so we're just going to slide it in, and you hear it snap like that, and we just plug this right in. And really press it. You want to make sure that you have a nice solid connection. Same with making it snap there. Okay, so there, that's all set. Now there is a cable they give here that has a USB-C on this, which will plug into the battery for the goggles. Okay. And then on the goggles, on looks like on the right hand side, right down in here on the right hand side, you'll see a spot where this connector here just pushes in like that. Okay. Now I think we'll remove the hat, and we're gonna end up putting this on. Okay, now let's attach the antennas on the goggles. Okay, and it doesn't matter which one of these goes on which connector. They're all the same. So it's not like they're marked 1, 2, 3, 4. You just want to make sure that they screw on properly. Make sure you're actually going to have a connection to the goggles. Okay, so we have all that connected. We have the battery in there. They have an OTG cable. Now on the side of the goggles, okay, on the side of the goggles here, they do have a USB-C, and it's actually marked USB-C. Okay, now to connect it to your device for doing updates, or I imagine even for a display, they're asking you to use the OTG cable. I've actually been running the app on the iPad, and I like using the iPad as a display. But today, for doing the activation and for getting a firmware update, we're actually going to connect it to the phone, and this is what they say you got to have. So let's put that there. Now another thing is with the DJI Fly app, or actually what I should say is actually with the DJI FPV virtual flight simulator, right now they only have that on iOS. And another thing that's they mentioned that when you're doing this update, if you're using an Android phone, which is what I have here, you're going to need to update the DJI Fly app, because it's using the DJI Fly app to do your very first firmware update. Now something's happened with Google Play, and the DJI Fly app I did have on my phone was version 1.2. DJI has a 1.3 for the new DJI FPV. So what you're going to have to do is, you can check it on your phone. If you go into settings, go down to app and open up the app, and at the very bottom, scroll down to the bottom, it's going to show you what version of the DJI Fly app you have on your phone. If it's the 1.2, which it was on mine on the Android, you want to delete that app and go on your phone, go to the DJI site, and go to downloads and actually download the new DJI Fly app. That's going to be version 1.3. So I've had to do that on my Android Samsung. So if you have an iOS, an iPhone, or iPad that you're going to do your updates with, then you won't have to worry about it, because I think iOS, they're up to date with the DJI Fly app. So anyways, let's get a cable for the phone, and let's get all of this turned on and get it connected. I think we'll stick the sticks on here too. Not that anything's going to fly away, but just so it's on there. We haven't used anything on here yet. This will kind of be our first time. We've had it for a couple of days, and we've just been busy. And any time I have had, I've been in the simulator, just doing what I can in the simulator. Okay, so let me grab a cable. Okay, so we have a cable here, USB-C into the Samsung, and the OTG cable. We're going to pop that into here. Okay, and we're going to start to turn everything on. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on the controller. Press once, press and hold. Okay, we have that on. Now the goggles. Okay, on the bottom there. Press and then press and hold. Okay, we got power in there. I'm not sure if we have anything on the screen. Nothing on the screen yet because the drone's not on. Okay, now for the drone, you got to listen to this. The sound on this new drone. I think I'm going to nickname this this drone my Predator. It's pretty wild. Yeah, what do you think of that? Wow. Wow. Okay, so now we're in our phone, and the DJI Fly app came up right away. This is the new 1.3. Okay, it has on here now, activate the DJI FPV. So I do agree. Okay, it has my email already in there because I had already signed into the DJI Fly app. But if you don't have an account with DJI, you will have to set up an account with your email and password. Once you've done that once in your app, you won't have to do that every time that you start up. Okay. I said activate. It says it's restarting the aircraft. It's going to take about 30 seconds. You're seeing everything just shut off. And now there she goes again. There's the sound again, restarting aircraft. You can see she's activating. Activation successful. Okay, so we're done there. You have 48 hours to purchase the DJI Care Refresh. It's like $200 US, which is closer to 300 Canadian. I'm going to pass on that because hopefully I'm not going to be reckless with this, and there should be a 1-year guarantee, I would think, on this. Anyways, let's press more. Okay, let's go back. Let's close that down. Confirm. I don't know, this is all in Chinese writing. I don't know what that's about. I press the button anyway. My Chinese is rusty. Okay, they're taking you through a little video.
打开 SD 卡卡槽盖，安装 SD 卡。
Okay, so it's telling me to put in an SD card, so let's do that. Okay, we didn't put an SD card in there. Okay, for now, we're not going to put an SD card in the drone or the goggles because we're not going to fly anything. We're just going to do an update. And here's the update. Okay. Okay, let's start the update. So you don't really need the SD card in the goggles and the drone right away when you're activating it and getting all the firmware updates. The update that it's giving here right now is the Dji FPV volume 01.01.0000. It's 335.32 megabytes, and it's going to give you added support for the DJI motion controller. That's something down the road we might think about getting. Added ability to take off or land by pressing the lock button on the motion controller. Again, I don't have the motion controller. Added tutorial videos for motion controller in the goggles. Added calibration for the motion controller. Added ability to switch goggles to DJI digital FPV system. I'm not sure what that actually means, whether that means that you can switch from the goggles to say an iPad or something like that to watch what the camera is seeing. It's adding turtle mode. So what you're going to get with turtle mode is if the drone lands and seems to be on its back, I think in turtle mode, from what I've heard, is it's going to allow you to flip the drone back over. So if it's way out in the field and somehow you land it, but maybe it flipped over, turtle mode, it's probably going to be a couple of switches or jerks of the, I'm not sure what it is because I haven't done it yet. But it's going to allow you to flip it back over right side up and take off again. Added coordinated turn to sport mode when using remote controller. Okay, I'm not sure what added coordinated turn to sport mode when using the remote controller. Not sure what they mean by that. Unless if you're in normal mode and you just switch to sport mode, you should be able to do that anyway. Added Find My Drone under safety settings in the goggles. So in the goggles there will be a Find My Drone. like they've had on all their drones. The Mini 2, the Mavic Mini, the Mavic 2, they all have that ability. Added ability to set the camera exposure value manually, so you will be able to go in and set your ISO and all your exposures. Optimize flight performance in all flight modes, so they've optimized everything. I guess this is the first firmware ever being done on here. I did do a video of firmware update, connecting the goggles and having the DJI Assistant 2 for the FPV version, which is sometimes going to be more accurate than updating from your phone. But for the first time use, they do ask that you hook up to your device to do your first initial activation and update. Improve transmission stability between air unit and ground unit. Okay, and I guess that's the extent. Okay, at 40%, it says it's installing something. It says keep the app open and aircraft powered on. Okay, I only have two middle lights flashing on the controller. I'm not sure what that is. It shouldn't be out of power. It was fully charged. Okay, and it is installing something. It's at 40%, and the lights are blinking on the drone. Let's see what the goggles are actually doing. Okay, the goggles only have an arrow pointing up and just says updating. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that inside the goggles. We're filming this with the GoPro 8. So I'm going to turn this and just see if I can see anything. Actually, when you turn it, you see a little bit, but not very much. You basically got to put this on your head. I'm not sure if I can fit this with my glasses. You know what? I have my glasses on. I don't always have to wear my glasses, but it's good to know that with my glasses on, I can see the screen as clear as a bell. And to get the feeling, I don't know if you've ever used VR goggles. In the VR goggles, like Oculus, they have a spot in there that makes you feel like you're in a movie theater, and this is the same effect. Right now, looking through the goggles, it looks like a giant screen, and it looks like you're sitting in the middle of a movie theater. It's absolutely amazing. So if that's going to be the size of the image that you're seeing, this is going to be just crazy. This is going to be very crazy. But it's super crystal clear. I can't believe how clear it is. So when you're flying and you're looking around, you're going to see absolutely everything. Super clear. Super clear. But one thing you got to remember too is when you're out and about with your goggles and you do take your goggles off and it's a sunny day, just make sure you turn them upside down. You definitely don't want any sun rays coming in to the inside of the lens, because that's gonna damage the lens. And if it damages the lens, then you're gonna have a lot of problems trying to look out through them. So keep that in mind, that they're very sensitive to light, and you definitely don't want to leave your goggles facing up, and having that bright sun burn an image. You know, like you've probably seen on a TV before, where it has a second channel burnt into it. So keep that in mind when you're using this FPV system. Okay, we're going to take that off. But you know what? My goggles are very snug around my glasses, so I think on my first flight, I don't think I'm going to wear my glasses. I think I'm going to trust the screen in there. Like I said, when you look through the goggles, it's like sitting in a movie theater halfway in the room. Like it's huge, it's massive. Okay, we're at 57%. Anyways, I'm getting kind of excited to get this in the air. I've been doing a lot of practicing in the virtual app. One thing about this drone is you're going to have normal mode and you're going to have sport mode. And in normal mode and sport mode, okay, I hear a beeping here somewhere. I'm not sure where that beeping's coming from. But anyways, in sport mode and normal mode, the drone is going to be stabilized, so you're still going to have your GPS. You have sensors on the front, you have sensors on the bottom. Those sensors are going to detect whether there's something in front of you. But just keep in mind, with the power of this drone here, it's not going to stop you like a Mavic, where a Mavic will sometimes just completely stop in the air. This is probably just going to slow this down a little bit. So you're going to want to stop yourself. Or if you're panicky, you can always hit the panic button on here, which I thought was cool that they added. And that's on the left-hand side, where you're, if you're in mode 2, it's where your throttle is. So that's definitely a button you want to memorize. And on the left side, just like most of their other drones, you have the gimbal movement. I don't know if you can see it there. I'm just moving the gimbal up and down on the drone. So you push up to move the gimbal up, you roll back to move the gimbal down. Pretty cool. And I love the lights on this. Like she is lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm not sure if it's going to be like that when she's in the air, but I think that's pretty cool. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen other videos out there about the DJI FPV drone, and a lot of them I've had a good chuckle with, because there's a lot of FPV guys out there are not too keen on this new drone. For me, I don't think that this drone was designed for them in the first place. This drone is for guys like me that have never really flown FPV, but are interested. I did try to get into FPV last year, but it was very time consuming, you know, and with the little drones, they're not that cheap. You've got to buy yourself goggles, you've got to get a remote. The only thing with FPV, the standard FPV, is usually one remote can be the same remote for 4 or 5 of your drones, or 10 of your drones, whatever you have, because you would program them actually into the controller. But there's other things too with FPV, regular FPV. You know, there's beta flight, there's PID settings, there's other settings, on OBS settings, your on-screen settings. There was so much knowledge I had to take in that you know, I found it very frustrating at times, and to go through all that, learn all that, charge up a battery, take it out to do a test flight, you know, and with regular FPV, depending on the battery size, you might get 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So it's a very frustrating learning period that you have to go through with regular FPV. So I'm kind of excited that DJI came out with this system. This allows you to kind of ease into it. And again, you know, once you get good at this, and if you actually are able to reach manual mode with this drone here, that's going to give you that little bit of edge that you may be able to pick up a regular FPV drone and have no problems at all flying it. You will have to learn other things with regular FPV, but it will definitely give you a better foot in the door with flying a regular FPV drone. I've been super stoked about this. You know, and I'm going to take it slow. I'm not going to be crazy. I really don't care about doing somersaults or 360 rotation. We're going to work our way there. We'll try out normal mode, see how it does in sport mode. I mean, sport mode alone is going to give you 60 miles per hour. I mean, how fast do you want to go for cinematic shots? And primarily, that's really what I'm into. I have the Mavic 2 Pro. I just do like the idea that FPV drone is going to give you a different perspective. And this camera is a 4K 60. So your horizon's not always going to be level. But a lot of stuff that I've seen these FPV guys do, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool looking. So this is going to allow you to do a little bit of that. And of course, once you get into full manual mode, make sure you're ready for that one, because you're going to be in full control of this thing, and you definitely want to make sure you're prepared for that. And that sound is awesome. It's the Predator all over again. Okay, we have full green lights on the controller. We heard a beep, and we're at 91%. So I think we're probably coming to the end of this video, as we're coming to the end of this update. Let's take a look in the goggles. Okay, we still have updating. Okay, so all you Android users out there, just keep in mind, before you do your activation and you're updating the firmware for the very first time, go into the settings on your Android phone and go into the apps, go into the DJI Fly app if you already have it, and check and see what version it is. If it's 1.2, then you definitely need to go to the DJI site, download it to your phone, and set up the 1.3. And if you've never had the DJI Fly app and you have an Android phone, then you're going to have to go directly to the DJI site and download the DJI Fly app. Don't download the one in Google Play, because it's 1.2 and you're not going to be able to do your update. I don't even think you can activate it. So and I think in the beginning what we're going to do with this is we are going to hook up the controller and the goggles to the iPad, and I think with the goggles and the controller we're gonna do a little more of the DJI FPV simulator and try and get a good feel of it. before we do our first flight. So I'm not sure when I'm going to do my first flight. I'm not too worried about my first flight because, like I said, I will be in normal mode or sport mode, which I know it's going to have GPS, it's going to be stable, and if I let go of the controls, it's going to stay where I put it. So I'm not too concerned about that. But anyways, I definitely want to do a little more practice. The big change here of flying this drone for me is wearing the goggles. And I think that's going to be new to a lot of people, especially regular drone flyers, because we're used to looking at the screen on our controller, and that won't be the case with this. I mean, you will be able to hook up a monitor to your goggles if you had somebody wanting to view it line in sight and wanted to view it on that screen. I think you're going to be capable of doing that. Okay, looks like we're at 98%, guys. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching this video today and watching me activate this and get everything set up, ready to go when I'm ready to go. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Oh wow, it finished. It finished, guys. Oh, you would not believe it. Oh wow. The camera's on. We got full image. Oh wow. Okay, catch you in the next one. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool.